Hi. In this video, I am excited to introduce a special project. I will turn a pretty old, full-of-scratch Dell Inspiron 3670 Barebones PC into a gaming PC that can play most games up to 1440p. I bought this PC for $50. It has no CPU, RAM, hard drive, or cooler, but luckily it has a DVD drive. In my project, I will add a side panel cooling case fan, install a liquid AIO CPU cooler, add the 500-watt power supply using a cable adapter, and especially I will install a perfect fit into the case of this PC, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 from PNY. And this is what the project's final result looks like. At the end of this video, I will show my gameplay on this PC with my favorite games such as Resident Evil 4 Remake in full HD, 1440p and 4K resolution in high graphics setting mode, as well as other games such as Last of Us Part 1 and Cyberpunk, which are the demanding GPU power game. You will see how this PC performs and what the temperatures of the CPU and GPU are while running in this tiny case. Now let's start by removing the power supply. Unplug the 4-pin CPU cable and 8-pin ATX motherboard power cable. This original Dell power supply is 290 watt. It has only an 8-pin ATX motherboard power cable and a 4-pin CPU EPS 12-volt cable. For the CPU, I will install an Intel Core i5-8400 with 6 cores and 6 threads, which I bought for $60. It's budget-friendly and suitable for gaming, too. Here is the RAM module. I will install 2 modules of Micron DDR4 2666 8GB, which is 16 GB. It should be enough for daily use and playing games on this PC. The PC will run in dual-channel memory mode by installing 2 RAM modules on this system. Dual-channel RAM improves performance by providing greater bandwidth and faster data transfer speeds. It also enhances system stability. Use identical memory modules for optimal results. Now I'm installing a Samsung PM990-2230 M.2 NVMe SSD 256 GB for the OS boot drive. For this PC's CPU cooling, I will install the Asetek 545 LC 92mm all-in-one liquid CPU cooler. The Dell Inspiron 3670 has 2 options for rear fan mounting solutions, such as installing dual 80mm fans or single 92mm fans on the back of the case. The Asetek 545 LC 92mm all-in-one liquid CPU cooler should fit perfectly for this system. I use NZXT thermal paste for this PC. NZXT high-performance thermal paste combines thermal conductivity, easy application, and long-term stability to ensure maximum heat transfer when cooling any build. The NZXT thermal paste 15 gram is so vast that I can apply it multiple times. To install the Asetek 545 LC 92mm AIO CPU cooler on this PC, I don't need to remove the motherboard to replace the CPU cooler mounting plate on the back of the motherboard. The thumb screws of this AIO cooler should fit perfectly into the CPU cooler mounting hole of the PC. Now I'm installing the AIO radiator to the case through a 92mm fan mounting hole on the back of this PC. It seems this I/O cooler is designed for the PC like this one. All parts fit perfectly with the case. Here is the WD Blue 1TB hard drive. I will install this hard drive on this PC for a storage drive. There are 2 screw holes on the bottom of the case and 2 others on the front of the case, where it is behind the front bezel. So now, to install 2 other screws for the hard drive, I need to remove the front bezel. Now, let's install the power supply. This is an FSP 500-watt 80-plus bronze power supply. A 500-watt power supply is smaller than NVIDIA's recommended 550-watt PSU for RTX 4060. But the recommendation is for overclocking the CPU and GPU. That is, I won't do it on this PC. Now let's plug the SATA cable and power cable into the hard drive. Let me do some cable management. This is the main power 24-pin to 8-pin ATX power supply adapter cable for Dell Vostro 3670, Dell Inspiron 3670, Dell Optiplex 3020, 7020, 9020, Precision T 1700. Let's plug the 8-pin side of the adapter cable into the motherboard and the 24-pin side with the power supply. Here is a brand new PNY GeForce RTX 4068GB Verto Dual Fan DLS3 graphics card, so let's unbox it. The PNY GeForce RTX 4060. Verto is a budget-friendly graphics card that excels at 1080p gaming. It runs about 5 degrees Celsius cooler than some other models due to its efficient power consumption. Its lightweight, compact design makes it ideal for tight PC cases. Priced at $299, it competes well with NVIDIA's MSRP. However, it struggles with 1440p and isn't suitable for 4K gaming. While lacking RGB lighting, it offers solid performance for budget-minded gamers. Now let's install it on the PC. Now, let me connect the CPU fan of AIO and pump to the motherboard. The Dell Inspiron 3670 has only one fan header on the motherboard, which is a CPU fan header. I need 3 fan headers to connect all fans and pumps in this project, so I use the 1 to 3 PWM fan cable splitter. Now let's connect the 92mm fan to the 4-pin fan connector on the splitter cable. The pump of the AIO uses a 3-pin DC fan connector. I connected it with another PWM fan connector of the splitter cable. Only 2 pins are connected between the I/O pump connector and the splitter cable connector, which are the ground pin and 12-volt pin, so that the pump will run at full speed all the time. I am happy with that because the pump and the AIO radiator are small, so if the pump runs at full speed, it is suitable for CPU temperature. Now I have installed all the components of the Dell Inspiron 3670 Barebone PC. You can see how all the parts fit perfectly into the PC case. It's almost done, but it has one more thing to do. I've prepared to put an 80mm fan into the side panel where the ventilation is available to exhaust the hot air outside the case. I will show you how I made it right now. I made an 80mm fan bracket to mount the fan with the side panel. Now let me install the fan with the fan bracket. There are no screw holes available to mount the fan, so I decide to use the hot glue to stick the fan bracket with the case. I can confirm that the hot glue is strong. The fan will not move anywhere. If I force pull the fan from the side panel, it should break the fan rather than release the hot glue. That is why I use the fan bracket instead of sticking the fan directly with the side panel using hot glue. Here, I have a PWM fan cable extender. The 80mm fan cable is short, so I use this cable to extend the fan cable longer. I connected the side panel fan to the last fan connector of the PWM fan splitter cable. Let me prepare the fan cable to ensure it won't hit any fan blade when the PC runs. I've done. Now let me try to put the side panel into the PC. Here, Dell Inspiron 3670 gaming PC. Now I turn on the PC and you can hear the noise when the PC turns on. It's not too loud. If I compare this PC to my gaming PC, it's much quieter than the big one. Now it's time to test some games on this PC. The first is my favorite game, the Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now let's try the game in ray tracing preset in 1080p. The PC can achieve over 80 FPS to run RE4 Remake at 1080p. The GPU usage is 74%, while CPU usage is 110%, so it is clear that the PC is a CPU bottleneck. The CPU temperature is around 70 degrees Celsius, while the GPU temperature is around 75 degrees Celsius, with a fan speed of 50%. Let's change it to 1440p with the same graphics settings. The PC still can achieve around 80 FPS to run RE4 Remake at 1440p. GPU usage is nearly 100%, while CPU usage changes by 130%. The CPU and GPU temperature and fan speed remain the same. Now let's test the Resident Evil 4 Remake in 4K with this PC. The PC can achieve around 45 FPS to run RE4 Remake at 4K. Following the result of my testing this PC, the Resident Evil 4 Remake is playable in any resolution, but it's not at the highest graphics setting. Now let's change to The Last of Us Part 1. This is The Last of Us Part 1 gameplay in 1080p DLSS off, ray tracing on, and high graphics setting. You may also see the game graphics setting on the screen. For The Last of Us Part 1, this PC can achieve around 70 FPS at 1080p DLSS off ray tracing on and high graphics setting. Let's change the graphics settings to 1440p DLSS off, ray tracing on, with a high graphics preset. With these graphics settings, this PC can run The Last of Us Part 1 around 33 FPS at 1440p. So we can say the RTX 4060 is struggling with 1440p with The Last of Us Part 1 at a high graphics setting. Let's change the game resolution to 4K, but I changed the graphics preset to medium this time because I don't think this PC can run The Last of Us Part 1 in a 4K high graphics setting. We can see that this PC can run The Last of Us Part 1 in 4K at around 24 FPS with the medium graphics preset. This frame rate may not be acceptable for gameplay, but I still appreciate this PC that it could run The Last of Us Part 1 without crashing. Now let's move to Cyberpunk 2077. Here are the graphics settings for Cyberpunk 2077 for 1080p testing.
Man of the hour. Jeez, took you long enough.
For the Cyberpunk 2077, this PC could run at around 45 FPS at 1080p.
Then we can drop in on Senor Vector.
Now let's change the game resolution to 1440p. Here are the graphics settings for Cyberpunk 2077 for 1440p testing. For Cyberpunk 2077, this PC still could run at around 45 FPS at 1440p with these graphics settings. Now let's move on to 4K. Here are the graphics settings for Cyberpunk 2077 for 4K testing. For Cyberpunk 2077, this PC could run at around 30 FPS at 4K with these graphics settings. In conclusion, the PC is excellent for 1080p gaming and can be playable at 1440p with some games. Based on the price and performance of the PC, I'm so satisfied with the result of my project. I hope you enjoy my video. If you like it, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.